Did you know an underground terracotta army with over bone-charm figures was unearthed in Jiangsu, second only to the first emperors? Over Hebei Mut Kong Kong artifacts were found here. The discovery included an jade suit, sewn with gold wire and an jade crown. This suit used bone pai hair bone tam jade pieces, making it the oldest and most exquisite ever found. It features the highest number of jade pieces and the finest craftsmanship in China, while the jade crown is the largest Han Dynasty set ever discovered. In December Bon, at an construction site on Shizi Mountain in the eastern suburbs of Suzhou, a bulldozer driver made a startling discovery. He noticed numerous clay figures partially buried in the dirt. Those familiar with archaeology know these are often funerary objects, so they immediately reported it. However, the real clue lies in an small detail that everyone overlooks, as experts arrived 90 minutes later to confirm these were Han Dynasty figurines. They confirmed it was on massive terracotta army pit from the Han period. To protect these artifacts, the archaeology department launched an rescue excavation. The construction work had caused severe damage, so experts first had to examine the soil layers near the old path of the Yellow River. Most of the soil consisted of debris left by the river's changing course. Records show that the Yellow River shifted significantly over 20 times in 2 millennia. This created an 4-meter thick layer of sandy soil near the mountain. Experts carefully cleared the site layer by layer, using specialized tools. A month later, they cleared 5 pits. Each was about 20 meters long and 2 meters wide, packed with a dense concentration of terracotta figures. In just the first 2 pits, over 2,000 pottery figurines were recovered. These soldiers appear to be holding weapons, creating a truly grand sight. 3 years prior, a construction crew had found a Western Han horse pit nearby, leading experts to link this to the first emperor style. This square object is a quiver used for carrying arrows. The figurine itself represents a crossbowman, frozen in a specific tactical posture. His right hand is raised in a lifting motion, while his left hand holds an steady grip, clearly modeling the use of a crossbow. The quiver on his back matches those found on many other crossbowmen, indicating it was standard military equipment for that time. After clearing the area, experts classified the figures into standing warriors and kneeling soldiers, all representing different ranks of the military. The standing warriors in Pidmot are bumualam centimeters tall, with quivers and hands positioned as if they once held real wooden or bronze weapons. The kneeling soldiers stand at high moibe centimeters, wearing flat helmets and long robes, with their hands extended to hold various military gear. Most notable are 4 sturdy horses lined up in a row. Behind them stands a unique figurine that immediately caught the experts' attention. Standing a more centimeters tall, this figure wears a helmet and robe, featuring a small hole for a sword, and a rectangular slot for a command seal. Experts believe this figure was a commander. All evidence confirms this was an high-status military burial pit, a rare find in Chinese history. Before this, only 2 such sites had been discovered, one in Xianyang and the world-famous mausoleum of the first emperor, Qin Shi Huang. This discovery was thrilling because it signaled a massive noble tomb nearby. After Liu Bang founded the Han Dynasty, his brother became the king of Chu. 12 generations of kings ruled from Suzhou. The question remained, which of these 12 kings owned this magnificent terracotta army? Seeking the tomb, experts looked to the Qin emperor's layout, where the army faces east and the main tomb lies directly behind the formation. Following this Han-era tradition, they determined the tomb must be located on the nearby Shizi mountain based on the direction the figures face. Since the army faces west, the tomb should be on the mountain. Shizi mountain is an sao moi mot, meter peak, shaped like an crouching lion, hence its name. Because it is on solid stone mountain, the experts suspected the burial would be on cliff tomb carved directly into the rock. They say it takes 10 years to sharpen a sword, and after 5 years of searching, the team still hadn't located the entrance. Over 60 geological and technological experts from across China were eventually called to Shizi Mountain to assist in the search. Despite using high-tech survey methods for 2 years, no clear clues were found. Meanwhile, experts noticed something very strange about the terracotta pits. The figurines were not arranged neatly, and the rock floor of the pits was unfinished. resulting in undisconnected and uneven layout. The irregular spacing and mixed hairstyles of the figures suggested they were buried in Great Rush, especially in pits 5 and 6. Building components were found alongside cavalry figurines, but their burial state was quite peculiar and seemed completely disorganized. Identical parts were found in scattered heaps rather than being assembled. In Monyin Chin Tram Chin Muemot, an villager mentioned he had dug a very deep potato cellar. Experts immediately inspected the cellar and found hand-carved stone walls, prompting them to expand the scope of their survey. As they searched for treasure among the mountains, they suddenly discovered ancient copper coins within the various soil layers. These coins first circulated during the Qin dynasty and remained in use until Emperor Wu of Han introduced new currency. Based on the weight characteristics of the coins, they were identified as Western Han currency, confirming the era of the site. With the carved stone walls and the coins, experts were certain an Western Han tomb was nearby. They then found an bronze seal. It was inscribed with the title of Anchu military official. Soon after, fragments of ritual jade were found, further proving the tomb's existence. As they continued, they found the one thing they feared most, an robbers' tunnel. They speculated this was an large, shaped tomb. This scale typically involves an large rectangular burial chamber with an long corridor, forming the character for first when viewed from above. To protect the site, a large-scale rescue excavation began. But it immediately took an unexpected and dramatic turn. They found 4 massive sealing stones in the path, each 2 meters long and weighing up to 6 tons, designed to stop thieves. However, these stones had been moved from their original positions by grave robbers. Experts also found many jade pieces on the stones. These rectangular jade plates had holes in the corners, and some still had gold wire. They realized these belonged to an jade burial suit. In the Han Dynasty, commoners couldn't own jade. Thieves likely removed the suit from the king and took it to the light to steal the gold. They pulled out the gold thread and left the jade behind. Given the Chu inscription, this was clearly an tomb of An Chu king. But which king was it? Archaeologists were excited to find several side chambers that seemed to have escaped the initial looting. Finding untouched side rooms in such an high-profile Han tomb is incredibly rare, raising hopes for significant and, well, preserved discoveries. In the first side chamber near the entrance, they found large artifacts, including an massive bronze vat nearly 1 meter in diameter. These items were mostly for bathing. Inside the vat was an shovel-shaped flask with symmetrical handles and 3 silver bathing vessels. The silver basin contained refined botanical extracts and skin cleansing tools, which were essentially ancient Chinese herbal medicines for bathing. Inscriptions on the vessels identified them as tools for the king's attendants, confirming this room served as the royal bathroom. It seems, even in the afterlife, the king of Chu valued his hygiene. Next, they cleared the west side chamber, which was equally stunning. This room served as an armory, containing over 200 sets of bundled weapons that left the team in absolute awe. They found exquisite bronze swords, halberds, and spears. Most long weapons featured gilded bronze accents on the ends of their handles. Aside from weapons, they found an gold belt buckle featuring an beast hunting scene, carved with incredible detail and artistry. Most exciting was collection of grave goods found on stone table in the southern part of the burial chamber. On this table sat the finest set of Western Han jade wine vessels ever discovered in China, consisting of 4 distinct pieces. The most beautiful was an jade cup carved from an single piece of Xinjiang Hetian jade, complete with an body and an matching lid. It features intricate patterns and rare craftsmanship. They also found an gold gilded bronze square wine vessel with 4 bird-shaped knobs. These luxurious items were symbols of high status, as commoners were limited to pottery or natural materials for their vessels. Only the elite could use bronze or precious jade, once again pointing to the occupant being an powerful king of Chu. In the east side chamber, they found iron axes, pottery, and stone hearth, along with 10 small pottery figurines. These small figures represented male and female servants. Daplu Hato would have performed various kitchen chores for the king's household. With unwell and unstove, this room was clearly unfunctional kitchen, ensuring the king remained well fed in the afterlife. While clearing the ceiling stones, experts found inscriptions indicating their intended positions, but the stones were in the wrong places. This disorder, combined with the unfinished rock in the pits and irregular spacing of figurines, suggests an very hurried burial process. Something major must have happened during the king's funeral. The main chamber held the final key to the owner's identity. As they cleared the debris, they found a dark tunnel extending into the mountain, which was quite a shocking sight for the team. To avoid traps, an expert entered alone with an each lamp to inspect the deep chamber and check for any defensive mechanisms. After walking 60 meters, he returned safely. There were no traps, but the main chamber had unfortunately been thoroughly looted. Their spirits sank, but they continued to clear the underground palace, though the floor was covered in a mess left by thieves. There was hardly anywhere to step, so they used planks to cross the piles of broken bronze, pottery, and precious metal fragments. In one room, they found over motrem bai, moi bai, kong copper coins, which served as the king's safe for his afterlife wealth. These were all Western Han coins. In the next room, they found an very small space, with no burial objects at all. It appeared to be an unfinished construction project, suggesting that even ancient royalty had to deal with incomplete homes. Another room contained various Chu seals, but lacked the king's personal name. However, more exquisite jade items soon appeared. They found a beautiful bird, patterned jade disc, and a jade pillow, made of fine green jade, with detailed animal carvings. Beside the pillow was a small jade dancer, only 5 centimeters tall, yet depicted with incredibly lively and fluid movements. Based on these items, experts believe this room belonged to a concubine Daplu Hato was buried along with the king. Another jade dancer and a dragon-headed jade piece were found in a nearby room, likely belonging to An's second concubine. With the side rooms finished, only the front hall and back chamber remained. The hall was for guests, while the back was for sleeping. What they found next was truly astounding. As they reached the main chamber area, they were met with an gris, literal sea of jade. Once the thin layer of soil was removed, the entire floor was covered in one thick layer of jade pieces. These pieces were different from those on the ceiling stones. They were greener, varied in shape, and lacked holes for wire. They also found unritual jade axe, a symbol of military command, decorated with vivid and fierce tiger carving. Another jade weapon also featured a tiger. The most exquisite finds were 5 dragon-shaped jade pendants carved with great power. Despite many jade discs and pendants, no seal identifying the king was found, and the rear chamber was badly disturbed. They found musical instrument remnants, but no human remains in the back. Most of the jade was found in the western front hall. In the eastern hall, they found an jade pillow and skeletal remains, which experts believe belonged to the Chu king himself.